Yes, I was in possession of evidence, of information. I took it to the police station.
Hello there, guys, and welcome to Daily Updates. We have just concluded the day 2 of the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. And one thing I can say about it is that it was explosive. Well, General Konazi today made his way into Parliament to speak about the members. But while doing that, he chose one member in particular, Mr. Fadiel Adams. If you know about the first day the ad hoc committee into the allegations by General Mkhwanazi made his sitting, you'd understand that this was the most anticipated. So I'm basically going to play 3 clips. I want us to look at the summary of today where General Mkhwanazi is accusing Fadiel Adams of being in possession of classified information and even taking it to the police. And also after that, we listen to the response of Fadiel Adams, which was through the Newsroom Africa. And as we finish, we can listen to the first time the ad hoc committee made its sitting into the allegations of Mkhwanazi and listen to what Fadiel Adams said about General Mkhwanazi. Just to put everything into perspective and understand the feud between General Mkhwanazi and Fadiel Adams, I mean, he's not the only one. General Mkhwanazi is still coming with the rest of them. So without wasting any time, let us first listen to General Mkhwanazi when he was speaking about Fadiel Adams and that classified information which he was in possession of. Please listen.
Wonder or question, why do we jump to that specific politician? It is due to this analysis and investigation that we are conducting that brings us to these individuals, so that we can flag and see for the commission to assist us whether our conclusion is justified or not. But we are convinced that it is justified, that what we are presenting. So Mr. Adams appeared to have came into the position of an intelligence information. And this information is classified on its nature that Mr. Adams should not be in possession of. So it is an information that is intended for another structure of Parliament. If it comes to his position and as a lawmaker, as a person who is serving in Parliament, he ought to know that when I'm in position of information from crime intelligence that is classified, it must be handed over to the Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence so that it can be interrogated, regardless of the status of that information. So that is expectation that one has towards a lawmaker, such as Mr. Fadiel Adams, who is currently serving in Parliament. Because this classified information we are referring to here, it's involving personal information of individuals that is deposited at crime intelligence or extracted by crime intelligence when the crime intelligence is conducting the vetting process for security clearance for individuals. It's a very sensitive information because it digs deeper to your personal information, your relatives, your criminal records, and everything that the state wants to test in order to confirm whether you qualify to be given a security clearance certificate or not. Such a clearance will then allow you to be in possession of sensitive material. The same applies to the members of the Joint Standing Committee in Parliament. It is only those members of Joint Standing Committee in Parliament that are vetted, and their information is in the disposal of this intelligence structure. And once they pass that vetting, certificates are issued to them. And that is the entry for those politicians to become members of the Joint Standing Committee. It is not open for everyone. So Mr. Adam, unfortunately, does not serve in the Joint Standing Committee. I do not know what is the reason that he's not part of the Joint Standing Committee. Perhaps that he might be able to answer himself. But in this regard, we know that he serves in the Portfolio Committee of Police, which is an oversight structure of government, and he's there as a public representative that holds us accountable on how we perform our function as a police on an open account of this that is allocated to the South African Police Service. But on the use of any funds on a secret account, the accounting role for that is within the Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence as regulated by the National Strategic Act of Intelligence that regulates how matters of state secrets must be handled, including the budget, resources, and otherwise. So Mr. Adams is not part of it, but recklessly he handles intelligence information not only within Parliament, but he takes it out to the public.
So after his name was dropped by General Mkhwanazi, Fadiel Adams had an interview with Newsroom Africa, and of course, they asked him about the claims of him being in contact with classified information. I mean, the man said that he did get into contact with that, and it was slipped on his office door. That's when he got into contact with that. But I don't want to speak a lot about it. I just want you guys to listen to what Fadiel Adams said. Please have a listen.
I don't care if it's a police general. I don't care if it's the president himself. This is where Mkhwanazi and I differ profusely. So, yes, I was in possession of evidence, of information. I took it to the police station, and if this man feels that I should be arrested for it, then let him go and lay the charge. Because South Africans should no longer have to carry the burden, the taxpayers' burden, for other people's scalamigheid. That is what it is. So here I stand today, accused by a 4-star general, a whole police commissioner, of being a possible criminal, if I'm understanding him right, if I'm listening to him right.
So after listening to both clips, I think there are two issues that we have. One is General Mkhwanazi basically wanting Fadiel Adams to be brought to book about the fact that he got into contact with classified information and now he takes it to the police. He's not even part of the standing committee. Now the man was in possession of classified information and he doesn't even say no, there's no such thing, it's lies. He admits that actually he's right, but I did not just acquire it. Someone brought it to me. Well, on the other hand, you have Fadiel Adams, who wants to really point at General Mkhwanazi and say that he's one of the corrupt. He wants to really point and say he's trying to be a better person, but the fact that he's chasing after me is because I'm trying to also expose the corruptness of General Mkhwanazi. Now the two are clashing. We have a situation where Mkhwanazi is at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Now the question that was asked to Fadiel Adams is that, are you going to be making your way to that commission? And he says, if they call me, I'm definitely going. Which is going to be asked, how did you get into contact with that information? And why are you disclosing such classified information? It takes us back to the fact that it looks like we have a parliament, and in that parliament, nobody is innocent. No one is clean, because even the ones that you look at and think, this party is just basically new in parliament. It's basically just new. So what is going on with Fadiel and his party being in parliament, and now he's in possession of classified information? If Fadiel can have access to such information, what about those who have been in parliament for such a long time? We have a serious issue of being turned into a banana republic. That's if we are not yet that banana republic. Criminals are doing as they like, as you could have listened to the story of Ket Matlala and Katiso Molefe. They do as they like, and they are in contact with your police, with your judiciary, with the politicians. So they have the power of money through the government purse, that is tenders. Now, because they have that money, they are using the same politicians to do their dirty dealings. That is why you see that a politician can have a very expensive property. And on the other hand, the criminals that are disguising themselves as businessmen, tenderpreneurs, are also rich. They work together. Then we have to go to an issue that, are we really being represented as the people of South Africa, especially in parliament? We have so many political parties. Some of them last year, over 30, couldn't even get 1% of the overall votes. Now we have all of these people forming parties trying to be in parliament, not because they want to change the people of South Africa, but because they want access to the benefits. If an MP has access to classified information, what about those who've been there for a long time, since 1994? What about them? They probably know more than we do. And that is why I have a belief that we must start to cut those political parties into 5. The rest of these political parties must not even come into parliament, must not even be allowed by IEC, because what we are seeing currently is people wasting our taxpayers' money, is people committing crimes and people not representing those who voted for them. I mean, you want to go to parliament, we just have to give you votes, then that's it. Is that how it should be done? I think the people of South Africa need to stand up and say that enough is enough. We cannot take this thing of having so many political parties when the politicians are not even doing their jobs. It's such a disgrace to hear about classified information in the inquiry. And I've been told that there are some of the issues that they are not going to be televised because they are very sensitive. One thing I can say about that issue is that more is still coming. The rot in the country is far much greater than we thought. But anyway, we wait to hear if he ever comes to the commission, what Fadiel Adams is going to say as a reply to the commission based on the allegations made by General Mkhwanazi. Hopefully, we get to hear what is going on, because some are saying, General, you are trying to be a drama queen. You know that you are tainted. General says, not under my watch, that you guys are going to be in contact of such information or even be corrupt. If I'm still alive, I'm going to make sure that there is accountability. Well, the bottom line is that after all is said and done, will the commission bear fruits? If it does, then it's a win for the people of South Africa. But if you look back, you would understand that we must never hold our hopes high. What we can do is pray and hope. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning into the channel as we continue to look at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Until next time. Cheers.
How is it that we're talking about the lie, the alleged lie that Minister Mkhwanazi told the police portfolio regarding his relationship with Brown? But the National Commissioner could lie about the brigadier that they brought from BMW. How is this okay? Why are we targeting certain people as Parliament? We are eulogizing General Mkhwanazi. I, as the complainant in the charges against those 7 generals, when this portfolio called me a madman before they were arrested, I, as the complainant, am connecting the dots. That staged press conference with a general who now seeks additional protection, who had what looked like an armed militia behind him, it was a threat to this country. Let us call it what it is. He was trying to incite policemen to take action in the event of whatever it is that he knew was coming. Let me tell this committee what I suspect was coming. As the accounting officer for the South African Police Services, I suspect that the National Commissioner himself is up for arrest. And that press conference was nothing more than a preemptive move. And the country appears to have fallen for it. General Konazi must appear before this committee. The National Commissioner must appear before this committee. The IDAC must appear before this committee. General Kumalo, General Lushabo must come and sit in front of this committee. And I want to appeal and actually ask that we make it a recommendation that every member of this committee that has ever met with any law enforcement or investigative body or given them a statement or had a conversation must come clean and tell us what he said. I will be the first. I know Honorable James has had that conversation. I have a suspicion there are a few more other people that are hiding things within this committee. Now, in order to clean out the service, we must all be honest. We can't demand accountability from the boys in blue and hide things right here